Joining us now is Helima Croft, RBC Capital Markets Global Head of Commodity Strategy and a CNBC contributor. Helima, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on.
So OPEC Plus is not the strongest as strong as it used to be in terms of setting the price.
Well, I don't think it's other producers the threat to OPEC. I think it's more Jerome Powell is the threat to OPEC. Concerns about recession are the threat to OPEC. I think when you look at market dominance, this is a market on the supply side that still can be controlled largely by countries like Saudi Arabia. I mean, U.S. production is not the threat that it was, several years ago. So the question is, who's going to win out? Is it going to be the princes or is it going to be Powell in terms of the market?
Yeah. China, we got disappointing CPI data overnight.
Right.
That had always been looked to as the
bull story for oil.
Yeah.
I mean, that had been the story that, people who were optimistic, we were optimistic on oil, was looking to the Chinese recovery. Now, there's still a sense that we could see the demand pick up, the increase in buying. Also, seasonality in the United States is going to come in soon. So people who are optimistic about oil focus on the back half of the year. And they also basically say, OPEC has shown now that they will come into the market. There had been some question about it's a full-year agreement. Will they stay on the sidelines? OPEC has shown they'll come in. The question is, do they have to do more?
At what price would they step in again?
They never say it's price specific. What they do say, and they've been very clear, is they wanted to send a signal to short sellers. They basically wanted to signal that it would be risky to short this market. But obviously, there are countries that have massive development programs that hinge on a higher oil price. And so it's never a question like we don't have a specific price point. But for example, I always thought that if Brent was going to break into the 60s, they would have come in immediately. But they showed by doing it when prices were on the rebound that they are really determined to signal that they're going to stay activist this year.
Given all that has happened in the past couple of weeks in terms of OPEC stepping in terms of the China data that we're seeing, which puts into question the reopening story, has your price forecast changed much? I
mean, we basically, we think that there should be a recovery in the back half of the year. Again, we think this OPEC cut is meaningful. They're meeting again in June. But the question is it a recovery into the low 90s for WTI? I mean, people had forecast out there of 200. So everyone, I think, has ratcheted back their call. The question is the back half of the year going to be significantly better because of a demand pickup and also OPEC's willingness to come in?
I think most people thought we'd be well above 100 by now.
Yeah. No, I absolutely.
It's really weird. It seems top heavy.
I think also, when you end up in the macro world, I mean, oil struggles in a recession story environment, in a rate hike story environment. And so this is a challenging market for oil. Again, OPEC to come in when they did now, off cycle, signals that they thought they had to become super activist, send a super strong signal. They did it on a Sunday. They didn't even wait to the Monday meeting. They basically defied expectations. And I think they wanted to signal, don't short this market. We're here. But again, on the other side stands Powell.
Helima, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Helima Croft.